Sorry we're a little late, y'all. We were talking about hip hop. Okay. If you guys don't know, Jerry lived during like probably the greatest time of music ever. You
I
know,
would
he
say
had
so.
prime Chris Brown, he had prime Kanye, he had prime Jay-Z. This dude had, and he lived in New York. So he had everybody, bro. You had prime, bro. You even had prime Big Sean. You had everybody, bro.
Big Sean, I always thought he had one really good album. I'm blanking on what it was, but other than that, I think he's always been overrated. But what I will say is, I lived through such a good time of rap that I told my cousin the other day that I don't listen to rap anymore, and he was
Yeah.
like, "No way! Like you were so obsessed with it for so long. What happened?" And I was like, "Bro, they ruined the genre. Like, do you
Yeah.
hear the rappers of today? They're god awful." And I listen, I know that's not what you're here for, so I'm going to say this and then we're going to get going.
Yeah, go ahead.
I blame the labels, I blame the executives, I blame the A&R. They were irresponsible and they destroyed the genre to prop up these industry plans because they collect these checks. But if all the rappers today are hot garbage, it's all mumble, and anyone who tries to tell you otherwise, you should never take them seriously.
1000%. So, all right. So, guys, welcome to the Superhero Cuts podcast where we talk about things Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. It's your boy Stevie Hayes, joined by my brother Comic Cuts, aka Jerry. Bro, how are you doing, man? What's going on?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. How you doing?
Good, 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 man. We here, baby. We here. So, this is going to be a really good episode for us, man. We are very happy. We're in a really great mood because of Superman and just the DCU in general. And that's the title of this episode. James Gunn is cooking. Okay. So let's just get right into it, man. I don't really want to waste time. So let's now there was a Superman set photo that just dropped that we're not going to talk about. Just want to tell you guys how Jerry and I operate in this company that we have, right? We will talk about set photos that show the costume and stuff like that. But when it goes into set photos that where it's deeply talking about the plot of the film, we don't want to do that. First off, because of copyright, okay? Like there is copyright infringements when we use these photos. There is a big difference between talking about a costume and a plot in the film, and we just don't want to get mixed up in that mess. And then also, some of you guys, not all of you guys want to see spoilers like that deep. So, we do respect you guys. So we have a little workaround, and we're going to use that to talk about some other things. So, but anyways, other than that, Jerry, you obviously saw the Superman set photos. How do you feel about the Superman costume? How do you feel about Mr. Terrific? How do you feel about Lois Lane?
So all of it, I think, are all the costumes and the looks are absolutely fire. Most of all, the Superman costume, and I want to talk about it because there are. First of all, I don't really see many mixed opinions. I see mostly, I think everyone in their right mind costumes and they think that like this is the real reveal. We got that look about a month ago that was like obviously intentionally released, which I also believe that these were kind of intentionally released. I'm going to get to that in a second. But the first photo with Superman kind of with the dusty suit, sitting down, looking a little disheveled, like, he was getting out of battle mode, was obviously intentional. But the day before the Superman photo leaked, we saw David Cornsweet in a poncho, and very visibly you could see the blue collar sticking out. So I think, listen, James Gunn, David Cornsweet, and co were like, we're going to be shooting in city streets. I don't know. I think they're in Detroit. I don't know exactly where they are, but they are going to be shooting in city streets. We know that there are going to be photos that are going to hit the internet. So until we're ready for that, we're going to have David Cornsweet in a poncho. Come tomorrow, it's going to be online. We know that. There's no avoiding it. Let's just let it happen. And, I see a lot of people that they belong to a very specific cult that are like knocking it, and they are all trying to play mental gymnastics in public view. And one of the criticisms that I see a lot of them say are, oh, there are a lot of lines on the suit. So like James Gunn is taking from the MCU because like, James Gunn worked for Marvel, so he's going to do what Marvel does at DC. It's like, first of all, like, thanks for letting us know how simple-minded you are, genius. Number two, I used to work for a very popular footwear brand. And one of the things I learned when I worked there is that a lot of materials, if you don't have some kind of pattern like lines and panels to it, they just look cheap. Like if you just have one material for that much surface area, it ends up looking cheap. So a lot of the reasons they use lines on costumes like this is to break it up, make it look a little texturized other than having the same redundant texture throughout the entire torso and legs. So you got to keep that in mind, that there are people that are experienced with costumes, leathers, spandex, etc., and they make decisions for reasons that people on Twitter have no clue about. So when you read someone online, giving their 2 cents, keep in mind they have no clue what they're talking about. Okay. Listen, I thanks, Derpy Entertainment. Cavill got hate too. And by the way, I think Cavill had a great suit, but he got hate in the beginning. As Stevie is definitely going to talk about, the Pattinson suit got hate in the beginning, but the suit looked amazing. The colors look amazing. David Cornsweet, I mean, they're the detail where, the cape, you could kind of see it and it's like coming in. It looks like it's clasped. That means it's stitched from under, so you can't see the stitches. Like they really, really went above and beyond on the design on the suit. Like that little detail, you have to keep in mind. You see the suit and it looks like it's coming out from under. That's because it's stitched underneath. So there's a lot of technique to get a suit like that. And the other detail I wanted to talk about was the way the cape just hung perfectly on his back, like probably some kind of weighted fabric, grams per square meter is how it's weighed. Like they really knew what they were doing and they went above and beyond on the suit. And you know what we haven't seen? We haven't seen color graded yet. And we're not going to see that until the trailer. And once the trailer does come out, that's when we could talk about plot points or if we hear rumors online, but we're not going to talk about the plot based on a photo that's surfacing on the internet. We don't think that's right. And it's just not going to be, a big part of the show. So, yeah.
Do you think that, because obviously we were talking to Slav about it. Shout out Slav and Mike. Our group chat's actually getting popping now. We've been texting it. How do you feel about the suit that we saw when James Gunn posted versus the one that we saw yesterday? Do you think that was on purpose, or do you think that he saw what the fans said and made certain changes?
I don't think he made that many changes. I love what he did with the initial image. I don't know if it was the right move or not, just because I think that the audience isn't that slick. Like, I'm just going to say it for it is. People don't look at the initial image and get to see that James Gunn is trying to communicate that, like, this is going to be a Superman that's going to be thrown through the ringer. He wanted to let us know that there's going to be spectacle like action with the, everyone thinks it's Brainiac ship in the background. I don't think that was what people were looking for. I think people just wanted to see how David Cornsweet looked in the suit, and maybe he shouldn't have went with such a edgy, choice on the first image. I think that because considering the audience and how the discourse works on the internet, I think maybe he should have taken a photo that looked something more like it did from the photos yesterday. But guess what? At this point, it doesn't really matter. Everyone saw the new suit. Everyone's happy with it. There are some people that are pretending they don't like the way the suit looks, but I mean, they'll complain about the flavor of coffee James Gunn is drinking. So
Yeah, right.
there's nothing he could do that's right. I mean, this movie could come out and it could be the godfather of comic book movies, and they are still going to say it's absolutely nothing. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
1000%. 1000%. Um, how'd you like the yellow S on the back? How you like
I
that?
thought it was cool. I liked it. Yeah.
I
I'm a
thought it
fan.
was also awesome.
It's got those, it has, 80s Superman vibes, which I like. And like I always say, they may have taken the word legacy out of the title, but what they told us from having the word legacy in the title is that this is going to be a Superman, a version of Superman that honors Superman's legacy and is going to be faithful to the different eras and generations of Superman comics.
1000%. I also love the color grading. Like one of my critiques, and Slav makes a good. I've been talking to Slav so much, it feels like. So now his quotes are stuck in my brain. One thing he said on in his on X that I liked it. He said, we don't have to trash the old to validate the new, right? But so I'll just say that I like how Superman's costume is blue, like a light blue. It really just brings back the classic vibe. Like you said, how do you like Mr. Terrific's costume? Because I mean, he's been getting love too. I mean, it's perfect. I love it.
Yeah, it looks cool, and I think that's a character that needs some redemption. Listen, I love the Arrowverse. I wasn't a fan of Mr. Terrific in the Arrowverse. They really did not do him justice, and it's important for him to come out strong. But I think he looked cool. The jacket looks great, and I mean, how often do you get a superhero that's got like a cool black, white, and red motorcycle jacket? I mean, talk about unique.
Yeah, he's always been a dope character, and I also love how. And I talked to you about this, and I said this in the video earlier today when I was talking about the costume reveal. I love how we are getting other side characters that are going to be in this, and that we're not seeing just main players author it, because just comparing to Batman versus Superman, right? Like we have Superman, but we have big player characters. Batman pops up, and who else is in that? Wonder
Woman.
Yes.
Who do they?
And then we get like a preview of Barry Allen and Arthur, and I love the idea that we're going to see like Hawk Girl. I'm really excited to see her costume as well, because I love Hawkman and Hawk Girl. I mean, they're freaking awesome, really underrated characters, and I hope that the DCU blows them up. I am expecting a series on them. That's my guess. We are probably going to get a series on them, and I'm excited and I hope that her and John Stewart get some on screen time, because I want to see that romance pan out as well. But anyways, I am excited to see her as well. But this is going to feel like a universe. It seems like Superman is on a mission with Mr. Freaking Terrific, which is awesome. Yeah. And this is going to plant the seeds for the Justice League to be formed as well. Because my guess is that the Justice League isn't formed, because I'm pretty sure that Superman in like a year or 2 or 3. So I'm also I am very excited to see that, and I love the fact and I love the fact that James Gunn is already trying to get fans acclimated to heroes that a lot of casual fans have never seen before, and I think that a lot of fans are going to be fans of people like Hawk Girl and Mr. Vic, not to mention Nathan Fillion as one of the Green Lanterns. I mean, I think he could be someone that could steal the show, that could be a fan favorite. So I'm telling you, man, James, like I'm not trying to slurp James Gunn. I'm really not, but but these are just certain things, and Jerry and I talk about this all the time, right? When comics and the content and what you're doing, these are the small details that make a movie, and James Gunn is just hitting it out the park. Like have you guys seen the Daily Planet? I mean, it's just he's hitting it on the money. Even with Lois Lane, he's literally taking the Lois Lane outfit from the freaking animated Superman show. James Gunn is not doing anything new. Like there's this Bible verse I love, right? And bro, it says this.
I think he's definitely going to be doing some new stuff for sure.
But I'm talking about like when it comes to the essence of the characters, right? So there's this Bible verse I love, and it says there is nothing new under the sun. Basically saying that when it comes to the source of things, it isn't the source that changes, but it is the things around it that change, right? And James Gunn is sticking to the source, and I think that him doing that is going to allow him to put his own taste on other things around this film without it seeming like he's trying to tarnish Superman or tarnish these characters. And this is also a problem that we're having in a show like The Acolyte, like she's putting like this director is putting her taste and she is putting her viewpoint of what Star Wars is first. She's not looking at Star Wars, what George Lucas created, and she's not building around that. She's trying to build her own thing. So shout out to James Gunn, because a lot of directors aren't that humble to honor what's come before them, because directors are egotistical and they want to create their own thing. So shout out to James Gunn for saying, you know what, like, and honestly, doing that is easier for him. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. All right, right.
You know what I
right.
mean? And not
Smart
to
move.
mention, James Gunn is running the universe. So I'm more than sure. I mean, he's also going back and forth from Peacemaker to this. So, he's
Yeah.
putting in work, man. He's putting in work.
You know what else I thought when I saw Perry White, The Daily Planet,
Yeah, they look
Lois
good, man.
Lane? It looked really good, and it started to make me think a lot about the original Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. Just the
Mm.
magic of like Peter Parker being an everyday citizen, working with the Daily Bugle, J. Jonah Jameson, Betty Brant, all that. And when you think about that and you think about where comic book movies have come since then in terms of special effects, CGI, and spectacle, I'm expecting the magic of movies like that Spider-Man with the modern technology and standards of a 2025 superhero movie. And I think it's just going to blow people away. And, people forget because like Spider-Man came out in the 60s and Superman is much older than that. But and a lot of people considered it to be it's funny because I was actually watching this from Comics Explained like an hour ago. He put out a
Let's
video.
go.
Yeah, and he was talking about how when Spider-Man comics originally came out, it was so new for people to get to relate to the mundane and enjoy the mundane in Peter Parker's life, because before that, superheroes weren't like that. But Clark Kent always has been. And I think that it's an interesting comparison because I think that Peter Parker and Clark Kent, in terms of their everyday life, they actually have a lot in common.
Yeah, I agree. I also think that, I think that, I mean, obviously, Clark Kent. And what makes me laugh, Jerry, is that a lot of people try to compare Clark Kent to Captain America, but people forget in the comics, bro, he's really an angry old man for most of the time,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
I think is funny. Like I think it's hilarious when
Well,
Steve is on when Steve is on his old man, and I feel like Superman is a perfect mix of, he has Captain America's viewpoint of the world to an extent, but he also has Spider-Man's, like, I see the goodness in everyone personality. And I feel like Superman takes, not saying that he copied them, but like Superman is that mix of both of those, personalities for sure.
yeah. It's almost like with Captain America. It's funny because I feel like I say this about Magneto and
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
America, which is like they're both at odds. But you'd be hard pressed to find a big decision that Captain America has made that has been the wrong decision. I think especially with the MCU, I think a lot of people might question the handling of Bucky killing Howard Stark and blanking on the mom's name, but other than that, he's always been there. And
It's Martha. I'm kidding.
but when you think of Clark Kent, it's what Truth, Justice, and the American Way. I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Is or
Yeah.
and then now they changed it to, to a better tomorrow. Which that's one thing I hope James Gunn brings back. I hope he brings back Truth, Justice, and the American Way.
That'll be
I don't
fire.
think, I don't think that's a political move. I think that Superman is an American character. He was created in America, and we should have some damn pride in this country. And I think that would be a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons why Superman was created was to give people something to look up to. You know what I mean? And so,
Yeah, and hope and
and
optimism in
it's
World War II.
exactly. And so, I think that bring, and I think our world needs that, man. There's a lot of toxicity and negativity going on, definitely in our fandom, and that's in all fandoms, to be honest, except fantasy. By the way, fantasy's so fun. There's barely any drama over there. But yeah. So it would be lovely to see a positive film, and I think this movie is going to be beautiful. I mean, I think this movie is going to be amazing. And Jerry, I am just elated and excited for this film. And even talking to someone like Matt, who is a friend of the show, he's a gamer, but as much as he hates the costume, he's a new 52 costume hater. He was just telling me, he was like, dude, I'm really excited. Now, I want to read you a text because you would be proud of him. And he wanted me to read you this. So
this is from Matt.
Yeah, and I'm going to credit him because you told me to credit him.
Shout out Matt.
Yeah, shout out Matt, because he finally has seen the Snyder hate. Because I told him about it, he was like, bro, it's not really that important, blah blah blah. So let me just read you.
But he's always hated Snyder.
No, he's always hated Snyder, but he didn't know that they were hating on James Gunn as bad as it was.
Oh, okay. I
so
thought you meant hate on Snyder.
Oh, sorry. And he made a really good quote, and I said this is probably the best way to break down the DC fandom. So let me read it real quick, bro. And I was like, dude, I'm going to steal that. And then we argued about Shazam because he likes Shazam. I hate Zachary.
Yeah,
that really pissed me off. Yeah, he was like, yeah, he loves Zachary Levi. I'm like, dude,
you hate Zachary Levi, I hate Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, dude, I can't stand. And people don't understand, bro. He's so extra. We're not going to. Okay, so this is what Matt said. So this is the first part of the combo. He said, "Can someone explain to me what the Cavill/Snyder stands are on about right now? I don't understand why they think James Gunn owes anyone a apology." Laughing emoji. Hold on, it goes more. Then he said, "I don't understand how we are not past this by now. It's legit been 3 years." And then he said, "I cannot believe this is even still a thing. Yes, I am not a fan of the collar, but I'm actually excited for the film. I don't understand how they're not. We are going to get an actual Superman movie. Sometimes I think people become bigger fans of the actors themselves and not the characters." And then he said, I'm gonna have to cover up the curse words, but he said, "When I see someone say I am a massive Superman fan, and then proceed to get throat effed by Cavill for an entire paragraph, it just makes me laugh at their own stupidity."
So true.
And then this was his quote about fans. He said, "You have comic fans, movie fans, and now previous universe fans." And basically, him and I finished that convo just saying that if you are mad at this Superman movie, if you are rebelling against a Superman film because of an actor, sorry to tell you, you're not a Superman fan.
That's what I said.
And I literally said exactly. And I'm just looking at the text. I'm like, dude, this is what we've been saying for months, But it was just funny that he said it. I'm like, dude, and that's the whole point.
And now they're and I remember, I think I was the first person who said, okay, well, real DC fans would be excited about a DCU. And now they quote real DC fans. Oh, the real DC fans. Yeah, well, we're excited about new DC movies and you're not. So you're not a real DC fan.
Yeah, bro.
It's pretty simple. I'm working on my not curse words also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just a funny like combo we had earlier because I was like, dude, like this is what we've been talking about forever. All right, now let's read some of these chats. Good evening, gentlemen. Deep Derpy Entertainment. Good evening. My only gripe with the suit is it looks baggy, which it may not or may change post. I mean, look, bro, the Captain America suit for Avengers 1 looked baggy. I remember like there was a photo of Captain America walking around and the costume and it was baggy the same way Corn Sweat is. I mean, the reality is, guys, is that there's going to be some digital things that is going to happen that's going to make the suit look tighter and just make David Corn Sweat look better in the costume. We can't judge it by just looking at a raw like image. And I know when you look at Cable's suit, he has the fake six pack. Cable is husky as well, but that's not how they're doing it. And there's gonna be some digital things that's going to fix it and all that. Okay, Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know what that is. Oh, they're
I
filming there.
think either
Cool,
they're
cool.
shooting. Yeah, yeah.
Let's go. From what I've seen, it's like fans are divided. I have a couple of friends who are like ill and they're not Snyder Cults. Yeah, bro. I know a lot of fans that aren't in the Snyder Cult that don't like the costume either. But I do think that it's a matter of seeing it in action because, to be honest, guys, I wasn't a fan of the Falcon suit at first, of the Falcon Captain America suit until I saw it in action, and I was like, never mind to that. You know what I mean? So it's all about
Also,
you have to see the suits when they're finished and in motion. It changes everything.
and I get it. The suit is a big deal, but I'm gonna say something that might be controversial to a lot of people right now. You could not like the suit and still enjoy the movie. Like it's not that crazy.
One
I
thousand
think
percent.
this suit is great. I think I happen to really like it.
1,000%. 1,000%. And I can't wait to see the upgrades that the suit gets in the future too.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully they go more new for 52, just to piss off Matt even more. Okay. We already addressed Cavill got hate. There's a new photo. Yeah. We're not going to talk about that because we don't want to spoil it for you guys. Can't believe. Oh my god. So Brendan hates the Clark Kent haircut. How do you feel about the Clark Kent?
I agree with Brendan. I hate the Clark Kent haircut. Like, every kid you see that's in high school has this haircut. And it just reminded me. And I remember it's funny because I used to say in high school, I'm like, I can't stand conformists. And I don't use that word anymore. And the reason I don't even think to use that word anymore is because in high school, everyone is a conformist. Everyone is a conformist. And I was never like that. I always thought it was corny. I always thought for myself. I always wore what I wanted to wear. And, now, I mean, when I see that haircut, it just reminds me how corny most people are in high school. They don't think for themselves. They have to copy everyone. And even last time, I hate the barber that I went to. I actually left him a Google review about how much I can't stand. I never read
Yeah.
Google reviews, but this guy left a mop on my head. Anyway, when I was there, he had like pictures of the haircuts on the wall, the popular ones, and it was a new barber. And I said to him, I'm like, everyone likes that haircut. And it was the same one that Clark had. He's like, you know why everyone likes that haircut? Because high school kids are afraid of being the odd man out. They don't want to be different. They want to make sure that they blend in with their friends. And he was so right. And it was interesting to hear it from a guy that owns a barbershop's perspective. And I hate that haircut. It looks, besides from the fact that they don't think for themselves, it looks stupid. It's like when your mom says, would you jump off a bridge because your friends would? Well, all these kids would jump off a bridge because they copied their stupid other friend. It all looks dumb. Clark Kent looks dumb with it too. And I really hope that isn't the Clark Kent haircut because I will say, it looks stupid and it makes it look like Clark Kent's a little bit of an idiot.
Yeah, well, it looks at least from my perspective, and some people were also talking about on X. It looks like he's in a rush. Like it looks like dude just woke up or something.
Well,
because
so
it's messy. You know what I mean?
I did see a clip of him rushing through people on the sidewalk, which was like a classic Clark Kent type of moment, So I do think that is possible. Jay Kelly says it's a disguise. I think Clark Kent is a disguise. I still think Clark Kent should look good as a disguise when he's out of the suit, but
bro, honestly, bro, I think there's context to that because I mean Clark Kent is supposed to look slick at the same time. By the way, do you know who has my favorite Clark Kent look in live action? Christopher Reeves. I love his Clark Kent look, man. It was slick, bro. It was smooth. Very, 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 very cool. All right. Let's see. James Bond or James Bond. Oh my god. James Gunn eats soup with his bare hands. I hope not. James Gunn can literally take a dump in the Snyder Code, say he did it wrong. He wearing draws on the outside. Yes, I am pro undies. I'm pro trunk. Okay, I love the
new
trunks.
New 52, which is your favorite, is no trunks.
I still love the trunks. And yo, you know, Jared, do you know the funny thing? In the video I posted earlier today about the costume, I said, guys, you're gonna hear Jerry disagree with me on the trunks. I literally called that. I thought,
Yeah.
Jerry is not pro trunks.
Yeah,
yes, Jerry's not pro trunks.
And I'm gonna say, like, they need to tone down what's going on in the trunks. Okay, we can't have that in this movie.
It doesn't look too bad.
That, no pun intended, that does not fly.
No Diddy. Well, no Diddy.
no Diddy.
Shazam is
cool. I meant the pun about flying like Superman.
Oh yeah. Oh
not
yeah.
A zipper.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Yeah.
Shit, yo, do you know what's so funny about this? Jerry and I were literally talking about Making Good yesterday because Jonathan Majors got honored for something, and you know, Making Good is like his wife. We really just told her that's hilarious. I hate Shazam. All right, at least the movie. The collar is nice touch, bro. We love the collar, and I love the new collar. That I love the dip in the collar. It's cool.
Yeah, I gotta say, Shazam is a character I really like. Like in the Jeff Johns. Jeff Johns. Now I'm messing up his name. In the Jeff Johns Justice League run, like there were a couple issues that had a backstory of Shazam, like in the back. Sometimes in the back of the comics, they include like a mini story, and usually they lead into something, but it leads into a pretty cool Shazam arc. Shazam is a good character. Zachary Levi is a cornball, and you are not going to find a bigger Zachary Levi hater than this guy.
Yeah, dude, I should just sent you a photo, bro. This is what I expect Shazam to look like.
Did you text it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I want him to look like that.
That's fire. That, by the way, that looks like it could be from the Jeff Johns run.
Yeah.
You know, and Shazam done right, like, should be an absolute banger. I mean, think about it. You're to sell tickets to kids that can imagine themselves becoming a superhero as like a 10-year-old kid. I mean, what
1,000%.
kid dream isn't that?
And not to make it even better, a group of kids. It make it even better as a group. Yeah. And I think that in Shazam 2, they could have dove more into the group, in my opinion. All right. We already did the mad comments. Let's see. Like, I understand that you don't trust DC after everything WB has done, but wanting DC to fail. Exactly, bro. It's crazy. It's a disguise. We talk about that. Ain't that the point of his looking dorky? I mean, it is a point of him looking dorky. And also, right? Not James Gunn. Superman is clumsy on purpose. You know what I mean? He's purposely clumsy. So the messy hair and all that stuff matches with the vibe.
He was super clumsy in that clip of him walking through the crowd.
I can't wait to see this movie.
Yeah, which I can relate to. You know, when I was living in the city, I used to always get so annoyed with how people walk. Like, people don't know how to walk on sidewalks in New York City. And my friend wanted to start a podcast with me. Not a podcast, but he wanted me to walk around the streets of Manhattan with like carnival tickets. You know, you got the admit one.
Yeah.
And he wanted me to start handing them out and like being like, you walk like an idiot. Here's a ticket. And like,
oh my God.
We probably should have. I probably would have went viral.
That would have been hilarious.
Yeah. But it's too late. Someone's going to hear that and steal the idea. But you wouldn't have done it better than I would.
Right?
Yeah.
Draws with the belt loop. Yo, all right. We're not taking any undie hate, okay? And we're going to leave
bro, underwear over pants? Like, come on. No Diddy.
So, all right. So, are you going to be mad if they do that to Batman too?
So here's the thing with Batman that's a little
he starts caping for Batman. Go ahead.
I'm not caping for anyone wearing underwear over pants. But when they're bright red over blue, they are much more emphasized. And like Batman done right, like the best Batman suit, live action Batman suit is done so well, like you don't even notice there's no underwear.
Whoa, time out. What's the best live action Batman suit?
The Dark Knight. Duh.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That is not the.
Yeah, and if you look at most Batman suits with
that is the
Trunks,
worst Batman costume of all
like
time.
they're not like as in your face as red. You know, like
yeah, man.
Even the bad ones like this, where he's like standing, it's like dead center image. Hold on, I'm gonna text it to you right now.
Hey chat. Can you guys tell me, okay, who has the better costume? Or do you think Christian Bale has the best Batman costume?
No, just say
because
just say,
I disagree.
Which would you say is the number one live action Batman suit?
Yes. What is number one?
Everyone who's watching, please comment it.
Because it is not that. Okay, I'll take Val Kilmer's Batman suit over that.
You're crazy. You would. You know what? I'm sorry.
By the way, guys, hot take of the day. Hot take of the day.
Rubber nipples and underwear over pants.
Yes. Hot take of the day. Val Kilmer's Batman is better than Christian Bale. Oh, he said Keaton. Hey, Keaton's costume is over Ben Affleck. Oh, I hate that Affleck. Oh,
I like
Affleck.
I like that.
It is over Bale's though. It is over Bale's. It is. Okay.
Number one.
Nah. We'll say, all right.
Thank you, Hungry.
If we're going to stick by that, and I hate Bill Batman. Yo, bro, it's literally just armor. It's just black armor. Look, it's like
tactical.
It's
like, bro, his Batman suit is like secret agent shit. It's
fire.
Stuff. It is fire. I know.
I said it isn't fire. Okay. Anyways,
it is.
Look, Jerry's trying to catch me, y'all. Guys, just let you know, I text Jerry like at least once a week, just insulting Batman. Like I did it earlier, just out of nowhere, and Jerry just laughs.
He's not a Batman fan. He's not a Batman fan.
Oh my god, we're not going to do that.
That's why his favorite superhero is Robin.
Oh, because I can't say he's better than
hold
Batman.
on, I gotta.
Robin's cooler than Batman.
You like rubber nipples, you like underwear over pants.
Yes,
and you like Boy Wonder. I'm starting.
Robin, bro, hold on. Robin is cooler than Batman. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
That whole thing went right over your
No, I heard you said. I'm just going by. I was going past it. Thank God Slav and Mike are here because they'll be boosting that to the max right now. Oh my god. By the way, we will have a Nerd Council stream soon, guys. Trust it. It's in the works. All right, let's see. I would wait. What do you say? Once again, James Gunn is our enemy. He's DC's last chance. That goes for even the Snyder fans. This fails. Not only will fans not get a universe, but they won't get the Snyderverse either. Yeah, they're not getting anything.
They're just so butthurt. Here's what you got to think. Every tweet, every time you see them say absolutely anything, it's all about them being butthurt that Zack Snyder didn't get the job that James Gunn did. It's all it's about. It's all it's ever about. Oh, I don't like the suit. Bullshit. You don't care about the suit because it's not Zack Snyder.
1,000%.
That's all it is.
1,000%. I love when Jerry gets fired up. All right, let's see. I was basically sold on James Gunn, DCU, the second he announced Batman, Brave and the Bold. Been wanting Robin since that overrated. Thank you, Hungry Almighty, man. We're on the same page today. But I do agree, man. The second Brave and the Bold was announced. I also was on board, and I'm a massive Superman fan too, so I'm proud about that. I want the classic blue suit. I agree. We need the blue suit. The navy will be fire. I thought we were going to get that with Robert Pattinson. 100%. I don't
want it, but I think there's a big chance we might get it, and I'll tell you why. Go ahead. So sorry. I think that they want to do a lighter touch on Batman. And I'm not saying it's going to be light like MCU or anything like that, and they're going to water down Batman. But I think with subtle design choices like a classic blue and gray Batman suit, and I'm not saying it's going to be like bright navy blue, not that navy's bright, but like a bright version of a navy blue. I think there are going to be choices like that make, because they also have to do something that makes this Batman different, fresh, new, and unique to all other Batmans. And we've had so many Batmans, so they're going to have to do things that we haven't seen before. And I think one of those things very well might be a blue cape cowl.
Well, we saw Andy Muschietti tested in The Flash. Even though the suit looked terrible, the color scheme was perfect. So So I wouldn't mind if they use that same color scheme. As much as I can't stand Ben Affleck, and I would love to see them use the
Oh
same cloth.
yeah, that
Yeah,
shit was whack.
but the colors were good, and I would love for
The
Andy or
cowl
not,
is so bad. I mean,
it
look at
is
this picture. It is just
it is, bro.
so
But the color scheme is fire. You know what I mean? Like the navy to gray
yeah.
ratio, I like. So
That's the
I
way.
and go ahead.
That's that color palette is the way you do the blue suit in live action.
And that material.
Yeah, I could rock with the material. And
Because
like
yeah,
the gold belt is how you do the yellow belt in live action, which by the way, you know where they got that from? The Dark Knight.
actually, I take it back on the materials too. Like metallic. I wouldn't mind if they use the material from BVS, like that gray, with that navy.
You know what I love about the BVS suit is like the creases in the fiber, like the
Yeah,
fact that like and it just it's so Batman to have such an innovative, fresh like textile fabric that's
yeah,
also armor at the same time.
exactly. Take that gray, right? You make it a little bit lighter, and you have to make it a little more clothier, if that makes sense. And I think like you have to make it like a
Yeah,
fabric, and I think
you
that would
could
be
use like a
perfect.
quarter or poplin type of fabric.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Um, or you said that already. Patterson suit. Now, yeah, Patterson definitely has the best Batman suit so far. All right, now let's get to the next. Let's
Yeah,
get to the next
bro.
topic, man.
You're the
Let's get to the
only
next
person
topic,
who would say
guys.
that.
Hey, I didn't say it. Our boy just said it too, so you can't hate. He's a fan, so anything the fan says is right. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, let's.
The customer is not always right here. Okay.
Jerry, shut up. Okay, okay. Oh my god, yo,
You want
guys.
the customer is always right. You go
Yeah,
next door. We're like your local Chinese shop.
facts.
Okay. You
Oh yeah.
complain to us and we yell at you.
By the way, for all the people that call us MCU shills, we just spent 42 minutes talking about Superman, okay? And that's only the first DCU topic that we have. So, suck it. Okay, all right, next topic.
Bro, come on.
Sorry.
I'm trying to tone. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, you guys
I
call
know.
us shills. We are talking about DC for the whole first hour, okay?
Yeah. I
So,
know I'm
all
the
right.
last person to be able to
Yeah.
say tone it down because like
No, so if you say it, I'm really crossing the line. I get it. Okay. All right, let's get it. Now, this is really good news, okay? And Jerry is happy because he's a green, even though he said the wildest take earlier about Green Lantern being cooler than Superman, but we're not going to go down that route. Maybe next week we'll debate that. Lantern series has been officially greenlit, has 8 episodes, follows Jon Stewart and Hal Jordan. Chris Mundy is the showrunner. David Lindelof and Tom King are co-writing. So we talked about this I think 2 weeks ago, and it was kind of a rumor. You know, it was kind of shifting around. So we are happy that that rumor is now confirmed. There was a whole article that came along with this. Now, first off, I want to talk about the writing room. Okay, Damon Lindelof. If you don't know, he was actually working on a Star Wars film, and he got yeeted from Star Wars. From doing that.
which is probably a good sign, by the way.
Yes. And he actually had the best Ray story because he was gonna make Ray old and kill her off, which I think was dope. And that's probably why they kicked him out because he actually had a brain. And anyways, so and by the way, Jerry, his Star Wars
That's
film.
not.
By the
I
way,
was gonna
his
say,
Star Wars film was what you want Star Wars to do. It was going to be a futuristic film where she was going to lead the new Jedi to like and kind of give them and do her send off, and then we were going to focus on those new guys. And they and they said no, and they loved him. Anyways, and Tom King. Now, Jerry, if the fans don't know, who is Tom King?
Tom King is a writer that's very unique at DC. And he's unique because he has, I forget his exact background, but he has a background in like criminal psychology. And he also worked for the CIA. So, you know, he's very famous for his Batman run. His Batman run is one of the best Batman runs that kept him on the book for a really long time, meaning like I think he did something between like 50 and 80 issues, something like that. And it was incredible, and it takes a lot for someone to say, this is a unique take on Batman because it's a unique look at Batman's psychology. A lot of writers look at Batman's psychology, but everyone said Tom King's was unique. If you're looking for a fire Batman run to read, I would actually argue that Tom King's Batman run is the second best Batman run of all time. But you need guys like this who get characters right, especially for characters like the Lanterns, which in this case we're talking about John Stewart and Hal Jordan. Now, understand there are a lot of Lanterns. So Earth specifically has 4. There's Kyle Rayner. Sorry, 5. Kyle Rayner, Guy Gardner, Alan Scott, and then there's Hal and John. Hal and John are the 2 most popular. They're obviously the best. So Hal Jordan is in the Air Force. John Stewart is in the Marines. And the Green Lantern Corps is an intergalactic military force that basically the Ring chooses someone who is worthy, who has really strong willpower and the power to overcome great fear. Those are the 2 traits it takes for the Ring to choose you, which ironically, I saw someone the other day saying, "Oh, I wish Darkseid grabbed the Ring in the Snyder Cut," where it's like, it doesn't really work like that. Yes, Darkseid has very strong willpower and he might have potential, but it's still not that simple. And it just goes to show they don't read comics. So like everything they say about these movies never really makes sense because they don't understand what they're talking about. But this show specifically is going to be crazy because we're talking about a show that's inspired by True Detective. So we're going to see Hal Jordan and John Stewart travel to different planets to investigate murder. And you're going to see, they might pick up evidence on one planet and then go chase down suspects on another planet. I love Green Lanterns, like specifically Hal and John. I'm a huge fan of them. They're 2 of my favorite characters of all time. And, I like them more than Superman. I know that's like a crazy take for a lot of people to hear. Me personally, like I'm getting into comics, like that's what I'd rather pick up than Superman. I like Superman. He's cool. Like he's definitely up there for me in DC. I don't know, just something about the Lanterns and their lore and the core, like does it for me.
So just letting you know, Jerry's covering that. Just letting you know, he's covering that episode. By the way, yeah, I'm not even touching it. I'll be there a comment, but that's gonna be Jerry's thing. He loves Green Lanterns.
Yeah, but the other thing is so there's also the OA, which is where the Green Lantern Corps is centered, and there are these like little guys that are the like wards of their religion and their core and their rules. And then there's the book of Oa, which has prophecies in it, and like the prophecies come to light. It's like it is so insane. Their lore on its own is like up there with the best of the best.
I mean, you can go really deep you can go very deep with the Green Lanterns alone. So, which is why I'm happy that we get an 8-episode show, and I expect each episode to be about like an hour long. I hope that we get a lot of Green Lantern content. So, I'm really excited about this show, and I think that this is going to be the perfect first series to look into the world of the DCU. And I see the writing on the wall, Jerry. I see what James Gunn is doing. Like Jerry, don't you see how we get Superman, right, with a bunch of characters, right? And then we're also going to get Batman, which is going to show us that we're going to be all over the world, like going to the League of Shadows. We're probably not going to be in Gotham a lot, which I really am excited about, because with all of the past Batman, we've been in Gotham a lot, but then we're going to go to space, and not just space. We're going to be traveling around the galaxy. And so James Gunn is really telling us as fans, like, yo, like this is a whole like you guys don't know what's out there, and James Gunn is going to show us, and and Jerry, just think about all of the different races of like aliens that we're going to see. I mean, this is going to be special, bro. It's going to be special.
So I want you to flash this image. I'm texting it to you now. James Gunn is going to knock it out of the park. I guarantee you they feature what I'm about to send. So you remember in Marvel, like the Avengers have
I have this. You showed me this last.
Okay.
You showed
Yeah,
us.
there's
I know I have it somewhere.
the Triskelion or Stark Tower, or I'm blanking it on the Avengers headquarters that Thanos came to in Endgame, but they have Justice League has a watchtower, which is like a space station satellite, and that's where the Justice League meet. If you watch like Justice League animated series, you know what I'm talking about. But it is so sick, and when you see that on screen in a movie theater in live action, people are going to lose their minds.
100%. 100%. Hold on, I'm trying to show it. Hold on, guys. Give me 1 second. Share screen. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Window. Where's it at? Okay, there it is. All right, it should be popping up right now. There you go.
So there is a synopsis, and if I'm reading it correct, Derpy said we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this is the Watchtower. It's obviously sick, especially because they meet in like a boardroom, and that's where they have all their meetings. And that boardroom has windows, and you look out the window and you see the stars and Earth from space. I mean, what's cooler than that?
And they can literally transport, bro, from Earth to the tower. Like it's so awesome.
It's so sick.
If you want to see it, watch Justice League Unlimited, because they do a lot from the Watchtower. And guys, to understand the DCU, honestly, I think you guys should watch the animated Superman show. I think you guys should also watch the Justice League animated show, the Justice League show, and then the Justice League Unlimited, because James Gunn is pulling off of that a lot. And you see that by the way Lois Lane looks, and you also see that just in the way that we're getting a Green Lantern show and him focusing on John Stewart, because John Stewart was the main Green Lantern for these shows. So if you want to study up and be like prepared, like you should watch those shows.
On that note, so this might be a little controversial, but it's the truth. And listen, Batman is my favorite DC character. He might even be my favorite comic book character of all time. It's either him or Spider-Man. But regardless, if you want to get into DC and like learn about the DC universe, I would argue Batman is not the place to go. And I'm not saying that Batman comics aren't amazing and not to read them, but Batman is just such a big character, and Gotham has so much going on that like Batman kind of lives in his own world. So like other characters, run into each other more. You get into the lore of DC more through other characters than Batman. Just because Batman's always in Gotham and he has his own Bat family, he has his own villains, and like he's always dealing with larger than life stuff on his own. And very rarely does he need anyone on the Justice League's help. But back to the Lantern. So there is a synopsis. I think this is the right one. It's pretty short, but I want to shout out whoever. Derpy Entertainment, thanks for the comment. The series follows new recruit John Stewart and Lantern legend Hal Jordan, two intergalactic cops drawn into a dark Earth-based mystery. Also, it's on Earth as they investigate a murder in the American heartland. So what's interesting here, first of all, that's exactly what I said when they, in terms of John Stewart and Hal Jordan, when they said that they're looking for someone in their 40s and someone in their like late 20s, early 30s for John Stewart. I said Hal Jordan is going to be the OG who's kind of showing John Stewart the ropes, and John Stewart's going to end up becoming the main Lantern for the DCU, and that's probably going to happen pretty quickly. The American Heartland, interesting. I guess they want to keep it private first because they want to involve it with the rest of the DCU. But whatever, still sick.
By the way, I don't think James Gunn is going to kill off Hal Jordan. I just think that Hal is going to be doing other stuff, and I think Hal will be there when needed, and that's kind of the way I see it.
I hope so.
Oh, so pretty high. Let's talk about that. Let's read some chats. Green Lantern hype. In brightest day and blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evils might be where my power. Green Lantern is light. One of the greatest quotes of all time.
Yep.
Do you think we will? This is for you, Jerry. Do you think we will one day see Kyle Rayner in the DCU? He's my second favorite Lantern. In my opinion, he's very underrated.
I think eventually, I think they're going to develop it, and I think they want to include most characters. Maybe if they do something like Blackest Night. I think it also depends on how well the Lanterns performs, and I think it's going to perform pretty well. I think people are going to be surprised, and the advantage of this is listen, I think Superman is going to do better than people think in box office, but the advantage for the Lanterns is that you don't need to spend time going to a movie theater, buying a movie ticket. It could be Sunday night and you're going to sleep for work and you could just turn on the Lanterns. And that's a big advantage when it comes to pulling in viewers. So I think
1,000%.
Lanterns can do well.
Another one for you. Do you think we will see the entire color spectrum of Lanterns in the Lantern show?
I really hope so. I don't think we're going to see the entire color spectrum. I think we'll be lucky if we see. I think we're probably going to see yellow, maybe red, but definitely not the whole color spectrum.
Perfect. We should. By the way, video idea. I want to write it down. You should do a video on the color spectrums.
I should. I just took
that would be fire
on it the other day. Yeah.
Thank you, Hungry Almighty, for the idea.
Yeah.
Yep. We just read the synopsis. The Watchtower. Yes, we love the Watchtower. Casuals want the Hall of Justice. Justice comic book nerds want the Watchtower. Screw the Hall of Justice, okay?
Yeah.
We want the Watchtower, bro. Screw the Hall.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Oh, God.
I'm good. I need to see Batman flying the Batwing into the Watchtower. Yeah, that would be hard.
That would be sick.
That would be so hard. I'm Warner Brothers. What they might be doing with Hal and John is what I would do with Barry and Wally.
That's a good point.
Now, I get what you're saying because Wally is the main Flash in the Justice League animated. So I get why you would say that. But Barry is so big of a character, they're not. Barry is really popular, bro.
Barry is, but the most recent Flash run is Wally West. The one that's running right now is Wally West.
I also think about the live action.
I don't know why they did. I always prefer Barry.
If, to be honest, James Gunn might do Wally. Number one, because of the Ezra drama, but also Grant Gustin really did everything you could do with the Flash.
Yeah,
Barry Allen.
I don't think they're going to choose based on CW.
No, but I think that James Gunn is looking at the Ezra thing that happened, and maybe he's maybe we just give Flash a fresh start, and then bring Barry when we need him there. We'll see. Yeah. It's airing on HBO and Max. So HBO and Max are the same thing. There's no HBO. It's just Max.
Yeah, no, but I think he means the channel.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, HBO channel. Yeah. All right, now let's go. Now let's get to some MCU talk. Okay, so this is the MCU is focusing on gods. Okay, now I want to read this off to you guys, because this really triggered my lore brain. So the Disney Plus Eyes of Wakanda series will reportedly feature some of the Greek gods. Achilles is said to appear in the series via Daniel RPK. Now, when the Eyes of Wakanda show was first brought up, I was really questioning a lot of because obviously this is about King T'Chaka. I think King T'Chaka's cool. I really like that opening scene in Black Panther with him and his brother, bro. Really dope. I mean, And by the way, I go back and forth. I still love the Black Panther costume where he can take off the helmet. Not gonna lie. The nanotech suit got annoying after a point. But anyways, we're not gonna talk about that right now. But I am really interested in the fact that they are dealing with Greek gods, mostly because here's the question that I have for you, right? First, well, the first point that I want to make is that if we're dealing with gods, this has to mean that we are going to be dealing with Bast, who is the Black Panther goddess, which
Mhm.
makes someone like me excited because we're going to be digging deep into the lore. And I think this digs into the idea of how people are chosen. But I also think there is a really big chance that Moon Knight could be in this show in the animated version, which I think will be super cool because if we are dealing with these Greek gods and regular gods, does this give a chance for someone like Thor, someone like Moon Knight, and other characters, with Khonshu and people like that? Are we going to see other gods pop out? Do you think that how would you feel if they were digging that deep into this idea of gods in this show?
You know, I think it's smart because I think they need to bring something new and fresh to the Wakanda arm of the IP, considering everything, all the negative impact that not recasting T'Challa has had. So I think it's smart. I like the idea of the Wakandan lore. Bast is someone who appears in visions or spiritual consultations and major Wakandan stories. And uh, or crises that happen. So I think it could be cool, and I hope that if they are doing this, I really hope that they are going to use the gods to somehow bring back T'Challa, make it happen because we need T'Challa. You're muted.
1,000%, bro. That sounds very exciting, and I just think there's a lot that you can dig into, like when it comes to lore. Because I mean, what if there is a conversation between Bast, Thor, Khonshu, and what I mean, and or like maybe Bast and Odin and Khonshu, and we see them having this conversation about Earth of like, what if Odin's like, yo, like, why are you giving humans this? You know what I mean? Like there could be a lot of conversation. Like, what if Odin or someone like that? What if we see Odin disagree with Bast on giving them freaking vibranium? I mean, like there's a lot of different things that could be, talked about. So I'm pretty excited to see what they're going to do there. And I think that you need to talk about I think that we need to talk about I think what needs to be talked about is how vibranium got there, and I would love to get a deep dive on that from the viewpoint of Bast. I think that's a
Yeah,
really interesting thing because in Black Panther 1, they like the whole movie is based on that. You know what I mean? Like vibranium is the basis of the whole entire movie. So I would love to get more of a back end, and then you link that with involving a Odin or a Khonshu. And I mean, see, like if T'Chaka runs into Moon Knight, I think that's a very interesting thing because Moon Knight, is a character that's carried down from generations and stuff.
yeah.
So pretty exciting.
You know what I would also love to see? Like, this sounds like something that they could really build into a major crossover event. And like, I would love to see a crossover event that is led into by multiple projects that isn't necessarily the main crossover event. So, like, we could have this new God's storyline play out, be built on, and we could also have Avengers 5 into Avengers Secret Wars coexist. Like, that's one of the things that's so cool about the comics, that like multiple things could be going on at once. Granted, they might not always have two major crossover events going on at once. But like, I still think it's possible and doable. And I also think the MCU is at a place where they need to innovate a little more right now. And I got to say, when I think about Disney and I think about Star Wars, and the fact that George Lucas left Star Wars with storyboards for the sequels that they didn't use, it makes me think that I think that there's like I think Disney really leans into strategy that revolves around doing the same things over and over again. Like, I think they're like, they see things that work and they're like, we want to do it again and again. And I'm not saying it worked in Star Wars, but I am saying that, I don't think innovating and pioneering and doing new things is always the priority. And I hope that that isn't a Disney thing. I hope that's a Star Wars thing, because I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, uh, that does roll over. Like, I would like to see the MCU, and I think that they are going to be doing new things, especially with Avengers 5 and Secret Wars. But I think like we're at a place where we need to see something new and fresh from them, like now. Because it feels like the only new and fresh things that we've seen from them in a while have been, shows. Like, I would say Moon Knight and Loki have been the most original types of stories that we've seen
WandaVision
from Marvel. You know what? As much as I'm not that big of a fan of it, I would actually include WandaVision there. I would say WandaVision was something that was fresh and new, even though I didn't love it the way you did. It absolutely does think, but it's ironic because the Disney Plus is where a lot of people would say Marvel went wrong. And, maybe that is part of the reason that there's some kind of, popularity amongst strategy that doesn't revolve about doing something new. But when you think about when the MCU first came about, doing a shared universe in film was something that never really existed before. I mean, the only thing that was relatively similar that you could think of before the MCU was the term spin-off. But like, if you think about it, Avengers 5 is technically like a 20-something sequel to Iron Man 1. And I think that's awesome.
Speaking of spinoff, I want a Hobbs and Shaw too.
You want to, what was that?
I said, speaking of spinoffs, I want a Hobbs and Shaw too. Off topic.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And what you like, we should have got a Hobbs and Shaw 2 between Fast X, and you link it to Jason Momoa's character. So then The Rock goes into this new Fast and Furious like mad. That would be perfect. Anyways, like, I loved Hobbs and Shaw. I still rewatch that movie so much, bro. I love that movie.
I need to rewatch that movie. It is really good.
It is. Oh, but anyways, but yeah, Jason Statham is like one of the greatest action actors of all time. Anyways, off topic, guys. But anyways, I do like this idea of for focus on gods, and I would love to see something where like Moon Knight and T'Chaka are just vibing. Like they're both avatars of their gods. Why not do it? I think that's a perfect situation. Right. I would argue, in my opinion, if you go with Shuri Black Panther, why not put freaking Oscar Isaac in it? I mean, give the movie all the firepower it could possibly have. Like, missed opportunity. Anyways, all right. Let's go to this next topic. Okay, MCU and Sony have agreed to use the symbiote in Spider-Man 4. This is a rumor. I want to read this out to you. Marvel Studios and Sony's current plan is to reportedly include the symbiote in Spider-Man 4, and this is the part that got me. The symbiote in the Venom: The Last Dance trailer is said to be misleading.
Interesting.
Because remember a couple of weeks ago, you and I were saying like, why, like are they just going to retcon that scene at the end of No Way Home? But it seems like that scene isn't what it seems to be.
The No Way Home.
What? No. So basically in Venom: The Last Dance, right? The guy that plays Mordo, right? He's like an army guy on Venom's Earth, and he puts like a cup over the symbiote, and so then everyone's questioning like, how is this in Venom 3? Because this is supposed to be in the No Way Home universe, but this character is in Venom.
Yeah,
and they said that, and they're saying that scene is misleading, that it isn't what it seems, which means that like maybe they're not retconning this. And this could mean a lot of things, bro. This could mean a lot of things.
I'm going to say it. I hope Spider-Man shows up.
Same here, bro. That's all we
That
want.
would yeah. Like,
Whether it's Tom Holland or someone else, I don't care at this point.
yeah. And by the way, if there's anyone who says that there isn't, the whole criticism with these villain spinoffs the entire time has been that they're villains without Spider-Man. And now you're going to have people who are going to say they don't want Spider-Man in this movie. I'm sorry. They teased it in Venom 2 in the post-credits. They teased it in the No Way Home post-credits. We want Spider-Man and Venom. Make it happen. If you're not going to do it in Venom 3, and we get Venom as the villain in Spider-Man 4, like, that would be incredible. And I think they should 100% stay with Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy, whether you like the Venom movies or not, you cannot argue that he didn't crush it as Venom. You cannot argue that he doesn't crush it as a villain, as he obviously did as Bane. And now I also think that I just think that Spider-Man, like MCU Spider-Man in the next one, you're going to need a really big villain. Like, there's a lot of casuals. I'm not even casual because they're just movie fans. There's a lot. You got to be careful on the internet because there's a lot of people who don't read comics and they give their 2 cents on what Marvel and DC should do when they don't know anything about the stories. Like, anyone who says Scorpion should be the villain in the next Spider-Man movie, you should never take anything they say seriously about these movies. Scorpion is a boring villain. He's not A-list. There's a reason comic creators don't choose to write about him. And Venom, quite frankly, is not only A-list, but he's like when it comes to spectacle, he is like the perfect villain for Spider-Man because through symbiote, through the spider bite, they basically have the same powers. So like it's just such a, no pun intended again, but a symbiotic relationship.
You and these puns. Yeah, man. But I agree. Not having Venom and No Way Home was a fumble. Like, you got them in the same Earth for no reason. It's so stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to include the symbiote, bring a Spider-Man. It could be Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. It could be even Jerry. I don't care who it is. Just bring him. I mean, just bring him. It could be freaking Spider Pig. Bring a Spider-Man character for the love of crud, man. Oh my goodness. All right, now this is very interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So MCU Center posted this, and no one else has talked about it. And so we're going to say this is a rumor. Okay, we're going to say this is a rumor. So shout out to MCU Center, friend of the show. He DMs me from time to time. Mostly he gets angry at my Batman takes. So yeah, shout out to him. Yeah, so MCU Center always DMs me every time I try to trash Christian Bale. So whatever. But anyways,
I agree with him. With him.
So okay, so there was a photo
is this
of
the guy that, you know what, I'm not going to say. I was going to ask if forget it. Go.
I forget. I know you don't like one of them. I'm not sure if it's MCU Center or not.
Yeah.
But anyways, or Sentry, MCU Sentry. He doesn't show his face. No, this is a faceless Instagram. Yeah. So Willem Dafoe spotted at costume fitting for Thunderbolts movie. Okay, and basically they have a photo of Willem Dafoe coming out on the Thunderbolts set apparently, and so no one's really covered this, but I thought that we should talk about it. Number one, because algorithm, no one's talking about it, so we should. But so we're gonna talk about the possibility of Willem Dafoe being in Thunderbolts. Jerry, if Willem Dafoe is secretly in the Thunderbolts, number one, how would you feel about that? And number two, what does this mean for the Marvel Cinematic U?
So it means a lot because, like, there are multiple storylines where Norman Osborn ends up. So he's been involved with 2 super teams. Number one, the Dark Avengers, but he also reformed the Thunderbolts, and he was like the head of Hammer, and he also took over Stark Industries. And I think that would be a really cool storyline for the MCU because, in No Way Home, Stark Industries was basically under legal attack, after the wreck with Mysterio and all that. So they're kind of in a vulnerable situation, and you could do something where Norman Osborn, you know, exercises, you know, his, uh, enterprise, and flexes like his wealth and his, business acumen, and takes over Stark Industries, and, kind of reforms like the Thunderbolts, who are, kind of a super team, but they're also kind of like, mercenary, meaning like, they'll technically do whatever's in their interest, whether it's like good or bad. So they're not really superheroes, but they're not really villains. So they're kind of like anti-hero in that gray area, because they'll do the right thing if it's in their interest, but they'll also do the bad thing if it's in their interest. And that's, what makes Norman Osborn such a great character in these situations. And quite frankly, when I realized that, like, hey, they're doing a Thunderbolts movie without Norman Osborn, like, that was crazy to me, because the second you put Norman Osborn on that Thunderbolts roster, it's an entirely different movie, and Norman Osborn is the king of that movie. I promise you that.
How do you feel about Willem Dafoe possibly being Norman in the MCU?
I think Willem Dafoe is a great actor, and I think he played a great Norman Osborn in the movies that he has been in. I don't know if I'm sold on him for this movie. I think that, I'd like to see someone who is like, I think Willem Dafoe fits the supervillain Green Goblin character really well, but I'd like to see someone who is more of like a
Suave type guy. Yeah.
suave Fortune 500 enterprise entrepreneurial character. And I just don't know that Willem Dafoe plays that role that well. And I think that, listen, he did a great job, but I think he's a better Green Goblin than he is Norman Osborn in terms of the enterprise side of the character.
Yeah. So for you, you got to see it on screen for you to make an actual
Listen,
decision.
but if Willem Dafoe is playing Norman Osborn in Thunderbolts, I'm still hyped about it. But I think that they could probably pick someone better.
Yeah. And younger. Yeah, I mean, so
Yeah.
I would like someone younger. I do think that this, but it's still dope that they're even going this route. In general, if
100%.
this is true. And this just shows the fact that, you and I talk about, like you and I have always said, like, Feige talked about, there's changes. Now we had to see it. These are the changes that as fans we want to see. Like, we want to see rumors of Norman Osborn being in the freaking Thunderbolts. We want to see rumors of certain characters coming back in Captain America and seeing mutants and possibly in Brave New World. Like, these are things that we want to see. So, Feige, we're going to let you cook, bro. We're going to let you cook. So we hope that Norman is in this. And you're right. Norman Osborn being in this film takes the MCU and this movie down a whole different lane. This is a whole different story at
something that's fresh and new, by the way.
Yeah. And side note for Thunderbolts, I also love how Florence Pugh is kind of the face and voice for that film. I think that's the perfect person that you have to like promoting this movie, because she's so loved.
That is, you want to put the spotlight on female characters. That's how you do it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Because she's just a sweetheart. She's a sweetheart. Same with the same way, and they did the same thing with Haley. What's her name? Steinfeld. Like, she was the face of Hawkeye, and fans loved her. You know what I mean? Like, that's how you do it. But I am hyped to see freaking U.S. Agent, bro. Like, that is what I'm most excited for. Oh my god, Wyatt Russell is such a good freaking actor. Oh my god, I can't wait to see him as U.S. Agent, bro. And that black suit. Oh man, just like out the comics, bro.
Fire. Oh. Yeah, I hope he ends up in the DCU.
As who?
I don't know, but I think he would be good for the DCU. I don't know necessarily.
I hope his dad plays Jor-El. Kurt.
Yeah,
Kurt would be a good Jor-El.
Yeah, he would. That's a good point.
Yeah, or he could
What?
be Alan, or he could be Alan Scott. Is his name Alan Scott?
Yeah.
The old head. Oh my god. Okay. Now, question for us to answer: what should Sony do after Spider-Verse 3? Now, in context, like what is the next move for Miles Morales and all of these Spider-Verse characters after the third one? What do you think they should do? Like, well, what do you think is next after this? Do you keep going this animated route, or are you going, or are you taking Miles to the live action screen?
So they take Miles from animated to live action, and they literally cross his body over in a movie. I think that's the 100% way to do it. Everybody loves the Miles Morales character from the Spider-Verse. Capitalize on it. Take the W and don't just restart the character. I think that, I think it would be such a power move. I think that's what they're going to do. I've said it many times. And I think Sony should continue to do animated movies. I don't know necessarily about who next. They could do something with, 2099 and, dive into that origin, and, how he set up the Spider Society. Who I would love to see them do movies around is Ben Riley. I love Ben Riley. I think he's a character that, I know like all the OG Spider-Man fans out there want to see more of Ben Riley too. He's a dope character. For those that don't know, Ben Riley is Spider-Man Peter. It's a clone of Peter Parker. So like he's a really interesting character. It's really cool. He's in right now in the comics. He's in his own iteration, Chasm, which is kind of a little more bad ASS.
And his suit is fire. By the way,
Yeah.
ASS isn't technically a bad word under YouTube's rules.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. It's just the big ones, the F word, the B word, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, his suit is fire. That'll be well, what if he's in Venom? That'll be awesome. Because he's like, we have our own Spider-Man. I know you would be hyped if he was the Spider-Man.
That would be perfect.
Ben
That would
Riley.
be perfect. Yeah, the Scarlet Spider. You're talking about the suit with the cutoff and
Yeah.
I
love using that suit in the freaking Spider-Man game too. It's pretty awesome.
Me too. I told you that's my go-to.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome suit.
Yeah.
I think that with Sony, I would obviously take Miles to the live action. I think that is the next step. But they do have to find the right actor. I mean, you gotta nail it on the head. I mean, that you can't miss with that one. And that's the hard part because you have the animated expectation. That's so hard to land that on both sides. But if I was them, I would keep doing animated projects. I mean, I think that Spider-Gwen is a really big character. That is
when it comes to casting Miles Morales, like they need to find a kid that has like Will Smith potential star power that no one knows yet. Like someone who's going to crush it in that role so hard, and he is so talented that when he's done with Miles Morales, he's still going to be a Hollywood juggernaut.
Yeah, you need someone they need a very charismatic guy. You know what I mean? Like you basically need like a RDJ-esque. Like this has to be a RDJ-esque type of casting because I think that Spider-Man. I mean, Tom Holland. I think Tom Holland's Spider-Man is probably the most popular Spider-Man's ever been out of live action history. I do think Tom Holland's probably the most popular. I think that you can have that same equal type of popularity with the right Miles Morales as well. And I also think that you have the potential to do a Tom Holland and Miles Morales relationship, or whoa, the world we're in. I can't say that no more. A Miles Morales friendship, brotherhood. That where I think that you can build something beautiful with both the Sony and the MCU. You know what I mean? To where like they might come together for some stuff and they might not. And I think that's like a beautiful thing. And I mean, Toby has expressed he doesn't mind coming back. Andrew, maybe they're in talks with him. Maybe one of them coming to help mentor a little bit. I think that's also a fun plot that you could do. Or it doesn't have to be them. It could be another Peter Parker that's older to come and play. So I think there's a lot of things that you can do. But on the animation side, I mean, you have Spider-Gwen. Really big fan base for girls. Like all the girls in my freaking youth group, bro. That's all they talk about is Spider-Gwen. Like they love Spider-Gwen. Seriously, I mean, bro, they love Spider-Gwen.
Right.
That's why if what we talked about is true, they will be very upset about that. Anyways, if that's true. And then also I think I mean we're already getting a live we're already getting
How old are this ghosts?
the ones that like the like Spider-Gwen, they're in the 12 to like 14 range.
That's like the prime age, so it says a lot that they would be disappointed by that.
Oh yeah, but like Spider-Gwen has a chokehold on a lot of like that teenage girl thing. I mean, because like because I mean she's a punk rocker. When you see the Rome, it's like the normal teenage girl. You know what I mean? So like a lot of girls like relate to her. And then I mean we're also getting a Spider-Man noir show already. You know, based from inspired by the Spider-Verse's success. So there's a lot that they can still do in the animation space. So pretty excited about that. All right, let's read some chats. And we missed some other ones. So I'm gonna read these too. Not gonna lie, even though the movie isn't out yet, Venom 3 is already better than the previous 2 Venom movies, only because we know Peter Parker will be in it. We hope he is. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it because we've said the past 2 films that he was gonna be in it. And what happened? Scorpion works as a side villain. Maybe Kingpin is the main villain when he hires Rhino and Scorpion to face Spidey and Daredevil. How do you feel about? By the way, that was the point that I wanted to make earlier because you were talking about Batman being in the DCU. I was going to say that it is very similar to how Devil suit is a brighter red. That's kind of how you're viewing the Batman suit.
Yeah.
Not saying that the blue will be bright, but like how they're making small adjustments to fit the universe more.
Right. It's going to be interesting to see how it looks color graded, but it's definitely going to be brighter than it was on Netflix for sure.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so how do you feel about this? Scorpion working as a side villain, maybe Kingpin hiring them.
I still think there are better choices.
Bro does not like Scorpion, bro.
Yeah.
You're hilarious. Okay. Yeah. After Secret Wars, if the soft reboot is true, what do you think is more likely? The Into the Spider-Verse Miles going into live action as the main Miles, or the MCU Miles that was teased on Homecoming?
I would say the Into the Spider-Verse Miles going into live action 100%. From a business standpoint, it makes sense.
Yeah, and Sony has to allow
they're not they do, but they're not tied to that little tease that they never confirmed anything about from Homecoming, like that just happened to be a black kid that he patted on the back or whatever it was, so I don't think they're tied to that by anything. I don't think it necessarily means anything. And I think that it's just like, if you were Kevin Feige, why wouldn't you want your Miles Morales why wouldn't you want to tell fans it's the same version they already know and love?
Easy $1 billion.
Exactly.
Easy billion.
Exactly.
Maybe the easiest $1 billion that they've had since No Way Home, honestly.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. They could bring in a character that has already had 3 very successful movies, that is selling toys, selling tickets. Kids are going crazy for. He sold video games. Well, it's a different, technically, Miles Morales, but you get what I'm saying. They want to bring in if you have an RDJ like Iron Man, you're not going to sell a different one and do the origin over again. Like, you're going to attach it.
Yeah. But the game also does prove that fans don't care. They just want Miles. You know what I mean? Like the game does prove that Miles, it's just Miles himself that people love. But I do think that Spider-Verse is what made Miles a universally loved character, which is insane, Jerry. Like, isn't it insane sometimes, bro, to think that animated movie had almost as much impact as a live action Spider-Man film? Like, it's still insane to think that. And like, honestly, not a lot of people talk enough about this. Spider-Verse is like a top 3 superhero movie all time. Like, I mean, and it's not talked about enough. Like, it's one of the greatest superhero films to ever touch the screens.
Yeah, and it's so unique. I mean, there's nothing else out there like Spider-Verse. It's the it's in all of entertainment. It's like it is a literal unicorn.
Yes. Like I would have never thought we would have saw Miles running away from every single Spider-Man that we've seen and that we've grown up on in our life. And not just fakes, the actual versions, bro. Like
Yeah,
that's like
and
you got to think about it. They were pulling animated Spider-Mans from like the 1970s, bro. Like
yeah,
it's unreal, bro. It's so unreal.
and I
So
love
unreal.
how they like kind of position him as an underdog, and like now he is like a veteran. You know, he is just super talented. I mean, he was dancing all over them at the end of Across the Spider Verse. And by the way, I still watch that movie all the time. Like
Really?
yeah, all the time. It's like
Did you
probably
did you like the first one too?
yeah. Listen, I love the first one, and I still think the first one is like absolutely amazing. But the second one was 100% superior.
Bro, they were in a flow state making that film. Like it's perfect. It's literally
It
perfect.
is. And it is like a love letter to comic books and Spider-Man, and it is just like it's incredible what they did with it. It's like living inside of a comic book. It's crazy.
Yeah. I know mad pure Spider-Man fans that cried watching that film. Like old heads
Again,
too. Jerry,
yeah,
old
yeah,
heads. I'm not saying dudes our age, like 50-year-old people that watched that movie and said,
that's crazy.
like bro, like this is old head I know at he goes to some comic store locally around here. And he basically told me that this movie honors Stan Lee more than any other film he's ever seen in his life.
That's crazy. By the way,
And
you know
he
what I read earlier today?
hmm,
Sorry, off topic. But Stan Lee had a lot to do with picking Tobey Maguire, and he thought Tobey Maguire was like perfect as Peter Parker.
yeah, oh yeah. Classic Spider-Man he is.
Yeah.
Shout out Toby. Shout out Toby. Probably the best. Probably the no. He is the best Peter Parker we've ever seen for a fact.
Yeah. He's still a very good Spider-Man too. Like,
100%.
yeah.
Let me stop. His mask always. I
Yeah.
used to always laugh about that. All right.
Yeah.
That's like when Finn yelled Ray all Rise of Skywalker. Oh my god, that drove me crazy. Ray! I'm like, dude, just shut up. She's a Jedi. Just let her save the world, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, it drives me insane, dude. That's what I wanted the sweet shit music Finn. Okay, anyways.
Mhm.
Now, as you are a Magneto stan, with the X-Men coming into the MCU, how important is it for the MCU to focus on their relationship in the MCU? Like do you think that their friendship / beef pushes the MCU forward in a way that we've never seen?
I don't know, because it depends on how they do it, because we have seen the two major characters at odds and have a civil war before, but this is a little different because this is about their existence. Well, I guess Civil War was about their existence in a way also, but it's about their existence as mutants, and do they coexist in the same level as humans, or do they leave humans behind and allow themselves to be superior? And I think that I think I'm not tied to any visions of that I have on how they are going to handle their relationship. I think that they could do it a number of different ways, and a lot of them could be done perfectly. So,
Yeah.
Do you have an idea in your head that you think that they have to live by?
I don't think you're gonna do it better than the way that Fassbender did with McAvoy, bro.
In
I
like,
think
especially, in
and
the
like
first part,
I love the originals with Stewart and Ian, but I think the chemistry that Mike and James had was just there. I don't explain. It was just like they were brothers, and like you know what I mean. It's just They
Yeah,
were brothers, bro. You know, and it was just different. So, I don't think you
that's
could
why
do
they
it
should.
better than that.
I,
I want them back.
I was going to say the same thing. Like, you're not going to cast them better. They're both young enough. Like, they should 100% bring them back.
I mean, bro, they could grow old doing this. You know what I mean? Honestly, they could be here for the next 30
Yeah.
years. You know,
You
honestly.
know what? We should start that campaign. If you are watching this and you think that you agree with us, start tweeting about it because we're going to
Yeah.
start tweeting about it too.
Yeah, I love McAvoy's underrated actor too. He's not talked about enough. And
Yeah,
I
I agree.
and I think he was the perfect guy to play Professor X.
Yeah. And
So, but yeah, man,
Fassbender's underrated too. You know, he's great. Like when
great
he
actor.
that the movie he played Steve Jobs in, he was incredible.
Mm-hmm. 1000%. Yeah, but I do think that this relationship is very important. I think that the Professor X and Magneto relationship
Mm.
is going to push the MCU forward in a lot of ways. Mostly because there are a lot of fans that don't watch the MCU because the X-Men aren't in it. And I think that
I've never heard that before.
I know a few people that don't watch it because the X-Men aren't in it. I know
That's
a lot
crazy.
I've seen a few people on X saying X-Men 97 is the first time I've watched a Marvel Studios project, like, and cared about it.
You know, I will say, so the clerk at my local comic shop,
Mhm.
shout out Grasshoppers Comics, you know, he said that he he always does this. He's like, you know, if there's a book out, he's like, I wait till the end so I can binge the whole thing through. And he said he was waiting to do that with X-Men 97, that he couldn't wait, that he heard he's going to love it. And he has never really been a fan of the MCU. He's a huge comic book nerd. He just doesn't like the MCU, which is crazy to me. But I haven't spoken to him about it since. So I'm wondering if he liked X-Men 97. But I know he was super hyped about it. And I know he is like, he's the one I told you about that told me about Chris Claremont. Like he
Mhm.
is a diehard X-Men fan. So there are people, and it's interesting because the Comics Explained video I mentioned before, what caught my attention to it was about, I think the title was The Time X-Men Became More Popular Than Spider-Man.
Yeah. How do you like Rob? How do you like? Do you think he's cool? His channel?
Yeah, I think his stuff is great. Like I really like it. I like his personality, like the way he explains things. You know, he's definitely a mega talent. He's very talented and good at what he does.
By the way, Rob does jump on a lot of smaller channels. I have reached out, so man, Rob, we want you on, brother. We want you
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
We
I'm
would
gonna
love,
send you a
yeah,
message myself. Yeah, we
yes,
would love
we
to
would
have you.
love to talk to you about just comic books and just about you, man, and just have a great time and just hang out because you're a
Yeah,
legend. To us, you are the OG. You are our
yeah.
OG in this YouTube game. So, like, without you and and a lot of other people,
We wouldn't be doing
we
it.
100%. You guys laid the blueprint for it. Fun fact: you want to know how his channel like blew up?
How?
He did like a 16 YouTube video series on Civil War, not knowing that Captain America Civil War was going to get announced. So he posted it a couple of days right before they announced the Civil War movie.
No,
And then all of his videos just blew up.
that's crazy, and especially because, like, for me, Civil War is my second favorite Marvel comic of all time, and that is the comic that got me into Marvel comics.
Yeah, for sure.
It's
And
incredible. Yeah.
and what's hilarious is that what got him into comics was X-Men. X-Men is like his favorite like franchise of all time.
Okay.
Mhm.
He posts great memes. Like I mean,
He's hilarious.
everywhere I follow him on, like I always enjoy his content.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's awesome. He's
Yeah.
awesome. All right, now last topic. Okay. By the way, I got some texts from my friends already about the Acolyte. Okay, so
I
Lewis,
saw it's top trending.
yeah, Lewis texted me and said, "Watch this Acolyte episode. Jesus, this could be the last one you watch. That was nuts." Um, and then Matt said, I tuned out the episode. I tuned out 3 episodes ago, bro. Damage is already done. He said, no, dude, just watch the first few minutes even. That was insane. And then Matt said, just give me a cliff notes. Apparently, he said Wait, is he being positive? You know, never mind. We're not gonna talk about. Okay, Lewis. Let me tell you about my friend Lewis, guys. Okay, Lewis is Lewis is the most biased Star Wars fan because Lewis doesn't care about the plot of the movie. All he cares about is if the lightsaber duels are cool. So, bro, he doesn't care about anything. So
That's
just forget what
crazy.
Lewis said, bro. Because he just said to me some prequel level lightsaber duels. Like, just, we're not even gonna talk about Lewis right now.
At that point, why don't you just go on YouTube and watch people battling with lightsabers in
He
their backyard?
Jerry, he does. He does. He
You
does.
know?
That's how much of a fan he is. Swear,
That's
bring him about
hysterical.
like that. So, bro, that's all he cares about is lightsaber duels. No joke.
That reminds me that there's a skit the comedian Tim Robinson did, and he's not actually on a dating show, but it's like as if he's on a dating show, and
Yeah.
like they're talking and they're like, all you care about is the zip line. And he's like, no. And then they start playing clips of him going on the zip line, him spinning on the zip line, like doing different tricks. And they're like, you were even rushing to finish your lunch so you could run to the zip line. And he's like, stop.
Bro, that's Lewis, bro. Bro, that's really Lewis, bro. Bro, Lewis only plays Spider-Man to web sling. He doesn't do anything else. No missions. He just web slings.
I will say I have seen a video on YouTube on Insomniac, and they were like, we absolutely have to crush the web slinging for this game to be what it needs to be. And they did. But like, listen, I love like playing skateboarding games because I love playing around with the physics on them and all that. I'm not picking up Spider-Man to just web sling,
Yeah, he's different, bro. He's different, bro. He's different.
That's crazy.
Look, Matt said a cool duel is not going to fix them, quite literally ruining the Matt is crazy. He's so funny. Oh my god. Oh, anyways, all right. Last topic of the night, and we'll get out of here. Are series hurting Star Wars? So I picked this topic, Jerry, because you and I both talked about how Kathleen Kennedy has basically been avoiding theaters because she knows that, if Mando might do good in theaters, but if it ain't that, this Rey movie is going to bomb bad. I mean, like really, really bad.
Really bad.
So do you think do you think that like after this bomb and all of these things happen, because there has to be a change once a film bombs. Do you think that like if you were in charge of Star Wars, are you putting all of your effort into the movies or more series?
I would say movies. Listen, first of all, I don't think all of the series have been dead. Mandalorian had 2 great seasons out of 3. Obi-Wan Kenobi, I loved. Ahsoka, I loved. Obviously the Acolyte is awful, and there's been some other awful ones. I don't think the problem is the series. I think the problem is the priorities being out of order. They are prioritizing shoving an agenda in our faces, and they do it with the movies and the series.
Sure.
They sideline Mandalorian in his own season 3 for Bo-Katan. I like Bo-Katan, but if you want to give Bo-Katan her own show, give her own show, and don't have her do press and pretend she knows about Star Wars when she doesn't, like some of the Acolyte stars have done. And the Acolyte has been trash, and the music video that Amanda Stenberg has put out is like ridiculous. And I'm sorry, like you don't get to virtue signal when you're like a jerk, and it looks silly. It's like you don't get to pretend that you have like the best morals ever when like you're
just an actor, bro. Like
it's just ridiculous.
Focus on acting, bro. Gosh.
So I think the problem has shown up in the movies. It's shown up in the series, and I think that they need to have a better all-around strategy, and like they need someone like Kevin Feige who's able to look at all of the stories that they're making. How are they cohesive? How do they present Marvel to the marketplace? And because if this continues, people are going to talk about Star Wars as like Star Wars like used to be cool, and now it's just like whack, like the way I talk about hip hop, And I think that people are like, no, that can't ever happen to Star Wars. Like, bro, it's happening right now. Okay, the brand name is being tarnished, and if this goes on much longer, the brand is just going to be in the trash. It can't suffer this much harm and sustain it for that long.
Yeah. I actually have a video that I'm working on. I still gotta write out the script for it, but the name of it, Jerry, is how HBO or no, how Warner Bros. Is managing Game of Thrones better than Disney is managing Star Wars. And basically saying how Zaslav made it a priority to involve George R. Martin in every single development of the Game of Thrones content because he knows that George R. Martin created it and that's what fans want. And so he
Yeah.
has a good setup to where basically the showrunner is running things by George for the Game of Thrones shows, And so George R. Martin knows what's going on, and he's involved in the writing room, and he's making sure that everything fits the story, and he's even bending to some things in the film as well. You know what I mean? Because like there's been some changes, but the changes don't destroy the heart of the show. You know what I mean? And the franchise.
You know what they should do? They should write a $10 million check to George Lucas to help them with the next couple projects or something like that.
Yeah.
That's what they should do because they need someone like that. And quite frankly, I don't think there's anyone better to do it than George Lucas.
Yes. And George doesn't have to be directing. Like, and that's what, because like a lot of people keep thinking, Jerry, that George has to come in here and be the next president. He does not have to be the president of Lucasfilm. You just get somebody, and to be honest, like, do what Zaslav did. He get somebody from Marvel to do it. I'm just saying, like, you get Brian Winterhurst or somebody like that to just be able to make good executive decisions, and all you gotta do is have the guys run it by George. Like George doesn't really have to be as involved. You know what I mean?
100%. And by the way, shout out to Zaslav. And he gets a lot of hate on the internet for two reasons. He gets hate because there are people who are mad that he didn't hire Zack Snyder for the DCU, and he gets hate on, I don't even know what his politics are, but I've seen him get hate in the past for his politics and the way he handles his business. But he has been like killing it with Warner Brothers. So it's obvious that he shuts out the noise. He knows what he's doing, and he is battle tested. So shout out to him, because if it weren't for him, we wouldn't be getting the DCU the way we're getting the DCU. And I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I trust my man Stevie, and he knows what he's talking about. So it sounds like I don't. It's not that it sounds. I know if Stevie's saying it, that Game of Thrones as an IP is absolutely on fire.
Yeah, I mean, and not to mention, he bit the bullets. He canceled Batgirl. He canceled some other projects that were done.
And that was a big decision.
That's balls.
And you know what that shows? I was going to say exactly this.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's balls, bro. And Jerry and I were literally talking about this earlier, saying that what Zaslav has done isn't talked about enough. He literally just helped resurrect the Lord of the Rings franchise with doing this Hunt for Gollum film after Amazon took the Lord of the Rings franchise, and they're doing a terrible job. And we also love Amazon, but they're really fumbling the bag with the Rings of Power.
What do you think Zaslav would do with Star Wars if he were in Bob Iger's shoes?
He would cancel everything, fire everybody. That's what he did with the DC. He fired the guy that was the head of the whole DC chapter. He fired everybody, bro. He fired everyone. He cleaned house, and that's the way you do it. There's no other way. Look, man, I understand, you have people that have worked there for 20, 30, 40 years, but if it ain't working, you got to clean house. And Zaslav came in, Jerry, and clean house. Same with Lord of the Rings. Zaslav came in and brought back the people that made it work in the past. Do you know how big, bro, Lord of the Rings bringing back Peter Jackson, Jerry, is like
I know.
It's like Feige bringing back freaking Raimi to do Spider-Man. That's how big that is. I mean, it's a pretty big deal. Like Zaslav and Zaslav.
Peter Jackson's the real deal.
He's a legend, one of the GOATs. Honestly, probably top 5 all time. But like Zaslav went out, Jerry, and made moves, bro. He made moves.
and he did it like at a fast pace. I mean, because he's only been there a couple of years, and like
He
the
had to.
change
He
is
had to.
crazy. Yeah. You know, and I know he prioritizes, and I appreciate this. Like when it changed from HBO Max to Max, they went like, for example, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones didn't have Dolby Atmos. Now it has Dolby Atmos and Dolby Vision. Like he went back and added Dolby Atmos to a ton of content that didn't have it. And like that kind of stuff makes a big difference. And, you know, because people like me who invest in those kinds of sound systems, like we obviously watch a lot of entertainment. So I notice when they have, you know, Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos. So I appreciate it. And, you know, so yeah, I might actually give Game of Thrones another shot now.
You should.
That Atmos.
Also, one more thing about Zaslav before I'm like throwing this man, so Lord forgive me. One thing about Zaslav, because I think he's just an awesome guy. Zaslav, you hear this? We want to meet you, bro. Take us to fly us out. I have vacation time. Fly us out.
Yeah.
One thing about Zaslav that I love is that, you know, the last Game of Thrones season, they literally botched it because George R. R. Martin didn't write season 7. Like there's no book for season 7. You know what I mean? So
okay.
So he's writing the last book right now. And I sent you the text of the day that right now he has 1,500 pages. I'm like, my God, this dude might have to release 2 different books because it's so many pages.
Right.
And you'll really appreciate this too. One of George R. R. Martin's problems, Jerry, is that the way that he said he writes is that he makes up along the way. So he doesn't really have a plan. But because of that, he has to go back and rewrite everything because he's a perfectionist. And so a lot of fans get pissed at him that he's working on all these shows, but he's not finishing the book, which is hilarious. But anyways, but Zach, think about this. George R. R. Martin was very pissed off that the showrunners of the original Game of Thrones show just said, "F you, I'm going to make this season." And season 7 was the worst season. And you know, and I know you remember everybody hated the freaking last season, right?
Yeah.
Zaslav is the one that went to George R. R. Martin and rekindled the relationship.
Yeah, like that's the kind
of
thing.
That's a president.
Yeah.
That's what presidents do, bro. They like, and that's why Zaslav has my respect because he came in, he saw the problem, and he fixed it.
Yeah,
I can't be mad at it.
He's a legend, and you know you need someone like that to get out of the holes that Warner Brothers was getting into, and quite frankly, like, listen, I don't agree with a lot of the things Iger has done, but I still have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, for sure.
They got to figure out this Star Wars thing because this is bad, and if they're doing another Rey movie, like it's going to get a lot worse.
Yeah. And also, a funny thing, I'm sorry, the funny thing I saw was Zaslav was at a basketball game with Michael B. Jordan. Like, who would have thought that these two people are just randomly at a game? And him and Zaslav walked in together. They were shaking hands, drinking beers, hanging out. But Jerry, think about it, bro. He could have sent someone from DC to hang out with Michael B. But it's Zaslav that's building the relationship with the actor. Because, I mean, to be honest, bro, and something that I think Zaslav has is that he cares about people. And I think that you can tell by the way that he's bringing everyone back. And so shout out to Zaslav. He's doing a hell of a job. And me personally, I hope that Warner Bros. Sees all of the success that it's going to get. Because, Jerry, here's the thing. If the DCU pops off and Lord of the Rings with Game of Thrones, we might be having a different conversation, and Warner Bros. Might be the largest franchise in the world in the next
studio.
They might be the largest studio in the world in the next 10 years. And you and I might be sitting here saying, "Oh yeah, man, Warner Bros. They're here."
Yeah,
we might be having a conversation. Yeah.
If you Google David Zaslav news, the second article that pops up, the New York Times, how David Zaslav blew up Hollywood. As if these people couldn't damage their credibility anymore. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. They don't know, brother. They don't know. Yeah. So, all right, y'all. We are going to end it here. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to our Fantasy Cuts channel. We are covering Game of Thrones every single episode.
And I am going to be coming to you with action cuts. And if there's anything you want to see, any piece of entertainment that you want to see our 2 cents on, comic books, movies, video games, let us know. We're building us out. We're going to do it all. And if there's a piece of content you want to see from us, we will do it. Just let us
Hell
know.
yeah. Hell yeah. So have a great night, guys. Peace out.
Peace.